Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. As during this Holy Week, we talk about gathering around the table and the connectivity as we've been so apart for so long and now just starting to reconnect, being incarnational, in the flesh, being in person, and some still virtual. But the importance of togetherness, and I want to speak to just a few of you today in this devotion, because I know that as Good Friday approaches, and Maundy, Thursday, and we talk about this body is broken for you, Judas, my betrayer, Peter, my denier, and all the rest of you for being just spineless when it comes time to step up. As I'm arrested, Jesus, and they scatter. And I think about all the ways we beat ourselves up. I grew up Catholic, and this is not a bash on the Catholic Church, but in my Catholic days, the church was really good about talking all the reasons why we deserved hellfire and focusing on the sacrifice of Jesus. Every service, the body broken for the undeserving wretches that we are. And it got me to thinking, not quite so darkly, but in terms of how many of us have been through addiction, alcoholism, abusive relationships, ugly divorces, estrangement from a kid or a spouse, living in the same house, but it's like you're in two different worlds. And you can get to believe that you're not worth anything, being told you matter not, that you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, strong enough, capable enough to carry a wet paper bag full of stuff. And I'm talking to you here. Talking to me, I'm talking to you. My De Niro voice, that wasn't a very good De Niro voice, but I want you to think about what Jesus is doing when he breaks that bread at that Last Supper. It wasn't fancy. They didn't have any chalices like we do in church. It's just Jesus in the last moment with his disciples saying, after he'd washed the grime from their feet, I know you guys. And I know that what's going to happen in the next couple hours is probably going to be more than you guys are going to be able to handle. I don't expect you. In fact, I know you're not going to stick with me. But I'll be broken for you. In other words, in the ways that we see ourselves at the very worst, the very least in me, as Paul says, my greatest weakness, Christ's love is my strength. Because it doesn't stop loving me. When I feel worthless, Jesus says, you're worth every penny. When I feel like I can't, Christ says, I made you for this. When I feel like I'm not enough and I'll never be enough, Christ says, you are my beloved child, made with the light of God, in the image of God. And nobody will ever take that from you. I chose you long before you even spoke my name. So when you think about this body broken, this bread of life given, that you and I might have life, do me a favor. Go easy on yourself this week. Allow God's grace to be God's grace, not our limited ideas of forgiveness or grace. And let it soak in just what Jesus is after and willing to go through to show you what that grace and love looks like. The worst imaginable hell we could cook up. Nail him to the tree. That'll be the end of it. No, it won't. Not by a long shot. Thanks be to God.